Alright guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm here at a park. Decided to enjoy this Memorial Day weekend with some loved ones. I did have a good breakfast today. It was homemade, and I usually try to keep most of my meals at home. Unfortunately, once in a while I do like to get some food uh, outside of the house, especially if I'm in a hurry. I do have a chance sometimes to be able to enjoy some good food that's at restaurants. I usually like to make sure that I choose the best quality food that I can afford, and at the same time try to make sure that I don't get ripped off. Now, the other day I did decide to go to Popeyes, which is close to where I work at, and like one person said on the comments, which is what I'm going to be talking about today, I'm going to be expanding my opinions on some of the comments that I read on my last video. If you haven't had a chance to go watch it, I highly recommend it. That day, I decided to put my health on risk, which is exactly what someone mentioned. There was a comment on my video about me taking a big health risk eating that type of food, and I agree. I could have gotten sick that day. And you know, the thing is my routine after work is usually I would go home and I would either prepare a meal from the food that I have at home, which it's made by me. I know what the ingredients are. I don't bloat. I feel okay. And I sleep well at night. Or I either have a meal plan where I have food where I can just go ahead and heat up and eat. And again, that food actually, my body reacts well to it. So when I decided to go to Popeyes that day and bite into that chicken, I didn't get that many bites out of that chicken. I maybe got a total of 10 bites out of the 3 pieces of chicken. I did remove as much of the breading as possible. And again, this was an experiment that I did, an investigative reporting, which for me personally as well, because I have not been to Popeyes in probably over a decade. I am really surprised that Popeyes is still in business. But once I bit into that biscuit and I had a little bit of that mashed potatoes, I couldn't keep eating the food. I thought maybe that the mashed potatoes could be salvageable once I got home. But in reality, I ended up throwing that whole box away. This is what it's come down to in 2025. A lot of the fast food that we consume nowadays is not good for us. I highly recommend that people try to stay away from food like that if they can. And if you do have to eat fast food, try to make better judgment than when I did that day. I just think it's very bad that there's many people that are still continuing to eat that food, and they continue to pay those prices. People are going broke eating that food. So there's people that can't afford it, and they still continue to eat it every day. And their health at risk too. And actually, you know what? My appetite, the remainder of that day, I had no appetite. I actually didn't eat a complete dinner that day because of that food that I ate. It messed up the remainder of that day. For purposes of this channel, I will be trying out other types of foods, and I will be giving my opinion on them. And again, I will be giving my opinion on the pricing because I think it's ridiculous. And I will be pointing out these things on this channel when it comes to groceries, fast food, and other items that I find on the street, because I feel like a lot of people out there, they live in a bubble where maybe they don't have time to investigate it. But by watching these videos, I will be informing you as to what I see. And that ways you can actually tell your friends and family to watch out for these types of scams that are happening around the nation. Because California is not the only place that has these crazy food prices. I've seen comments on my videos talking about other places in the United States that have ridiculous prices. And you know, the worst part is that these prices are not only in the United States, even in other countries. If you decide to go to a fast food joint like KFC, Carl's Jr., McDonald's, you are still paying the equivalent of what you would be paying in the United States for a burger or for a meal. you're still paying close to $10 or probably even more for a fast food meal. And the people in those countries don't earn nearly as much as what the equivalent of what you would make in the United States. So these fast food companies are really banking on the fact that people are addicted to fast food. And one of the comments that I actually received was the fact that there was a person that said that in Las Vegas, they said that lunch runs them about $15 to $20. This is from Judy Lopez, 1811. And I've been to Las Vegas before, but it's been several years. And one of the reasons why I haven't really gone back to Las Vegas is because I've noticed that the prices last time I went were ridiculous. I think the last time I went to Las Vegas had to be probably 3 to 4 years ago. And I saw the writing on the wall. The Ubers that I would take were just ridiculous. That's another thing that in Las Vegas, you have to be very careful with the Ubers because they will charge you a crazy amount just to be able to go from point A to point B. Even within the strip, you're paying over $20 just to go a couple miles. So not only that, but everywhere you go around the strip, one person is probably spending close to $30, $40 just for lunch. And sometimes this is the equivalent of fast food, but in a sit-down restaurant. And sometimes the portions are not that large and the service is not that good. Because in Las Vegas, there's different rules. Every state has different rules when it comes to tipping and how those tips are distributed. I think from what I've read is in Las Vegas, they pool the tips. Versus here in California, there's a very good chance that most places, whatever tips you make, you keep them. Let me know if I'm wrong in the comments below. It's been a very long time since I've worked in an establishment where I've had to get tips. But I do know that tip workers, some places they do pool the tips and some places they keep them for themselves. If you can afford to give a good tip to the people who are providing you good service, I do highly recommend it. Because what I have noticed as well is that some of the establishments that I've been to in the last couple months, they have very little people inside them. And so the people who are working there, they are getting less tips to be able to take home to be able to pay their bills. So if you can't afford to tip your waiter or waitress a good tip, whether it be 20% or even higher, and if they justify it, if they provide you good service, I highly recommend that you go ahead and you help out someone once in a while. It's a good way of giving back to the community. I don't think I'll be going to Las Vegas anytime soon, unless I have to go there for some sort of convention or seminar. But I think a lot of people have checked out of Las Vegas. I know that Las Vegas has grown a lot, and I know that they have put out a lot of new entertainment venues. But at the same time, it's not for everybody. They nickel and dime you when it comes to the resort fees. A lot of places there, maybe they'll charge you a small room rate, but then a real large resort fee. And not only that, but the chances of you getting scammed in Las Vegas walking down the strip, it's very common because there's a lot of people that try to take advantage of tourists every single day, and that is their full-time job. So to see how much money they can actually get from these tourists that are out there just to have a good time. And not only that, but I feel like the casinos nowadays, they trap people to be able to come back, basically throw away their money. There's a lot of better places to be able to give your money to than the Las Vegas casino. So anyway, so like I said, this is not just in California. For some of you in the comments I have mentioned that maybe these are just California prices. There's another person here, JF Enterprise. He actually commented that he's surprised that a certain group of people aren't rioting outside the place over the size of the chicken, which I agree. I read a lot of negative comments about this place I went to, the Popeyes that I went to. I am surprised there's no more people out there rioting. He's correct. And then he says he likes it occasionally. He has a spot like that similar to his. I really hope he doesn't go back to it, because if the reviews are as bad as this Popeyes, I don't think you should be going. You know, and the thing is when I walked into that Popeyes, I had no idea that they had very bad reviews. I decided to check out the reviews after I had already ordered the food and sat down. So, He says that the last time he had KFC, it was like $80 for the family. So that's pretty common. If you have a family of 4, you're probably spending close to $100 just to be able to feed them at a fast food joint. Let alone if you go to a sit-down restaurant, it's probably going to be over $100, especially if the children want dessert or if everybody starts getting a paid drink. If it's not just water that they're ordering, you can easily run up a bill over $100 for a family of 4. So it's very difficult to be able to afford this. I do see that there's a lot of people out there that go out as a family. And I do think that a lot of these people are putting all this food in credit cards. Or possibly it could be that maybe they're pulling the money together. Maybe there's multiple people in the family that are actually working and contributing to the family's finances. So but he says that those meals with 2 small sides and a drink are insane. And he says that probably it was $25 or $30 out the door, which is correct. You know, things are just ridiculous right now. Now, someone did say that 1,000 million billion said, Enrique says no carbs for me. You are on point, Enrique. Turns sugar in your gut. And it is true because that's one of the reasons why I am trying to stay away from as many carbs as possible. Once in a while, it's okay to eat food with carbs because there's going to be a lot of people out there that say that you should have carbohydrates in your diet, which once in a while, I don't think it's bad. I know that there's people out there that say stay away from the 100%, but at the same time, you do need carbohydrates out there to be able to nourish your body here and there. But I do try to follow a mostly carnivore-based diet. For the most part, I do eat a lot of meats. And once in a while, I'll have some vegetables and fruit. But for the most part, I usually try to eat more meats more than anything. And it's helped me out a lot, especially because of the fact that I do go to the gym once in a while. And I do have, every single week, I do go to boxing classes twice a week. And also the jiu-jitsu classes, which have really helped me a lot, not only with the mobility and the training, but those classes, believe it or not, during that hour that you're there, you do sweat a lot. And all of that has helped me as well. So the better diet that I have, the more effective that I will be in all these types of activities. So, and also, if you do decide to go to a burger joint, you can always get the burger without the bun. I know that some people have commented about the Flying Dutchman, which if any of you don't know what the Flying Dutchman is, you can go to In-N-Out and you can get your burger patties with cheese and with no meat, and you eat it with a fork. And it's actually pretty good. You can have several of them or you can have one of them. Usually, I think the price for a Flying Dutchman right now is probably around $3, $4 a piece. So if you have 3 Flying Dutchmen, you're probably paying about 16 bucks. But at the end of the day, you're avoiding the carbs and you're eating pretty good food. I've always liked In-N-Out because In-N-Out's fresh. You know, you always see them make it on the spot. I stay away from their fries, and I try to stay away from all the other stuff. But when it comes to a Flying Dutchman, I feel like that's a pretty good meal. And if it's fast food on the go, but I don't feel it's that's bad to your health. It might be, but I personally don't feel the after effects of eating that food versus what I ate the other day at Popeyes was just total garbage compared to that. So one of the people here did comment about, actually this person, Eveline19641, commented, how many restaurants accept SNAP cards, food stamps? A lot of grift is going on with government money or tax dollars. When you spend government SNAP, you can afford the high prices. And you know what? That is correct. Actually, JB, if you haven't followed JB, I highly recommend it. Jeremiah Babe. He actually has gone to Winco several times in the past, and he has mentioned that he has asked the people behind the register what percentage of their clientele is actually paying with EBT or food stamps, government assistance. And they had told him about 70% of the people walking through there were using government assistance to be able to pay. In a way, it doesn't surprise me, but I wanted to see for myself if that was true. So I went to Winco not too long ago as well, and I asked them the same question, and they gave me the same response. So That you can be rest assured of, that is the truth, because I went there on my own and I asked them and they gave me that same response. So we know for a fact that the government assistance is widely used out there in public, and even in places where you don't think that it is. And I think on one of my other videos, I did mention that there was a luxury food spot over in Los Angeles called Erewhon that accepts EBT, which is government assistance. And these places have ridiculous prices, yet people go in there with their government assistance and pay for it. So not only that, but you can actually use that to be able to buy hot food. So if you are a place like Domino's, Pizza Hut, or even Popeyes or McDonald's, there's a lot of places that will advertise that they accept EBT. So just because you see McDonald's is packed or Popeyes is packed or Pizza Hut or whatever, a lot of that could be government assistance. So there is a lot of people out there that instead of using it to their best advantage, going out to the grocery store, buying healthy products, maybe they're out there spending it on a Domino's pizza or Little Caesars, or possibly going out to Denny's, because I think even Denny's Diner accepts EBT. So all of these places, you could just get your card. You don't have to get, you can just get your EBT card and swipe it, and your family of four could be eating out at a Denny's restaurant. So I think the only thing you can't consume is alcohol, but everything else is game. So that could be another reason why you might go to a sit-down restaurant and it could be full of people. Maybe a large portion of them are paying with EBT. We do not know, right? So that's a mystery. The only people who would know would be the people who would work at the restaurants, right? So if any of you do work at a joint like that, like Denny's Diner or one of these other pizza spots, comment down below if you know for a fact that there's a lot of people paying with EBT. I don't know. But anyways, like I said, there's a very good chance that that's what's going on right now. And the thing is it's not like before where you had to walk around with a book of food stamps. Now, like I said, just with the card you swipe and no one knows that you're paying with that. Another person here did comment that the Popeyes probably pays at least $10,000 per month in rent. That is true. I think that it's probably somewhere between $10,000 to $15,000 a month and $25,000 in salaries. I really do think that that is right. So for Riley 55329, I think you hit the nail on the head. So they said that I'm lucky that the meal didn't cost $20. And actually the meal would have cost $20 if I would have gotten a side of coleslaw, which it didn't come with the meal. I thought I was getting two sides. I ended up getting one side with the biscuit because according to what I read, the biscuit was a side. That shows my ignorance when it comes to ordering fast food. Things have changed. So anyways, I will continue to provide you guys content that I think will make you guys a better person. And I will be going to different spots in the future to figure out what they're charging, because just like everybody out there, I myself am in a bubble. So I usually try to have a certain routine. Once in a while, I will go to different places, but for the most part, my routine, it's pretty much the same overall. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be stepping out of my routine, finding out what is it that people are charging for things nowadays, and I'm going to be reporting that back to you. That way you guys can make a better informed decision in case you want to go somewhere. You know what the places are charging nowadays. So stay tuned. We'll see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and comment down below your opinions on the stuff that I've talked about today. Take care.